In October 1960, Nigeria, the largest black nation on earth, became an independent nation. With this new status came the task of building a self-sustaining nation full of opportunities and growth. In writing the history of modern Nigeria, the role of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria can never be overemphasized. The skills needed for bookkeeping and financial records to administer the new nation required the services of skilled accountants, majority of who had to be sourced from the Great Britain.
Ican did not start as Ican, started as an association. Those of us who tried to establish the Institute in 1960, we borrowed leaves from various other professional bodies. It was time, in fact, that the profession of accountancy ought to have a body that will speak on its behalf.
When I came back, the profession was still in its developmental stage. Mr. Akintola Williams and a few expatriates working for what is today KPMG.
I came back from England in 1961, and at that time there were probably not more than 50 chartered accountants.
Most accountants were foreigners. There were very few Nigerians and very few chartered accountants.
On December 29, 1960, 14 brilliant men came together to form the Association of Accountants in Nigeria during an inaugural meeting held in Lagos.
Mr. Akintola Williams and Mr. Coker, FCO Coker, were urging us to form an Institute of Chartered Accountants. We met regularly, followed all the rules, were in contact with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, and the Ministry of Education supported us, and we formed the Institute in 1965.
The instrument of Ican Charter was presented to the Ican Executive Council led by FCO Coker by Chief Richard Akinjide, the Minister of Education. In the beginning, the Secretariat was housed in Lagos City Council Treasurer's office.
My office was the office of the association, which became the office, that is my office as Assistant City Treasurer.
The Institute was faced with so many challenges. It was tough running the Institute without a budget or a government subvention.
We didn't have enough staff. We didn't have it, and the Institute hadn't enough money. Those were the only two major constraints.
Everyone there served voluntarily, yes, at that time.
The Institute had no secretariat of its own at Victoria Land. They were using a building along Broad Street. I think it was given to them by UAC.
In 1979, Ican Building in Victoria Island was opened, thus opening a new era in the history of the Institute.
One of the first things we did was to identify two principal divisions of the Institute, the Administrative Division and the Research and Technical Division. So we established the Research and Technical Division on a firm basis.
We didn't have all these directorates that we have now. We have about 15 directorates now. We didn't have those directorates.
In the 1970s, through the combined efforts of Presidents Emmanuel Ayodele Odukoya, Musliu Olaiya Anibaba, Vincent Obajimi Ogumba, Julius Akinyokun Owoseni, Michael Adepoju Adeyemo, Cecil Oyeniyi Oyediran, Anthony Asukwo Ani, Arthur Mbanefo, and J.A.A. Adebayo, the secretariat of Ican was expanded. The presidency became well-defined and the roles of the governing council became more prominent.
As the registration, the studentship becomes bigger, there is more responsibility, there's more need for staff, there's more need for materials, there's more need for us to grow bigger.
Having established an institute that is commanding respect across Nigeria, Ican soon became a target of other bodies seeking recognition and membership.
Ican was based mainly on one of the UK bodies that had no recognition in the UK itself.
Those who trained or who qualified with those people, they came back to Nigeria, they started agitating that they wanted to be part of this institute.
And we gave them exemption up to intermediate level. That was how far our Ican could go. They were not satisfied.
There were litigations and counter-litigation as a result of these confrontations.
Today, Ican is in IFAC, but we were appointed by IFAC to mentor Ican. That's the irony of faith, that we are the one who mentored them to make them suitable to be acceptable into the world body.
In the last 50 years, Ican has contributed in great measures to every aspect of Nigerian economy and social development, which are evident in accounting, banking, insurance, financial and economic management, politics, manufacturing, human resources development, among others.
Chartered accountants work in virtually every arm of society, every arm of the economy.
That's why today, if you look across the industries, all the industries, you see chartered accountants, be it banking, be it manufacturing, be it telecom, be it oil and gas. You have the accountants working across, chartered accountants working across.
In 1989-1990 presidential year, Ican had his first female president in Bola Kuforiji Olubi, 25 years after it was chartered.
SWAN was incorporated in 1978.
We are involved in both at the local and zonal level.
We have had 6 female members who have been president in this institute.
Chief Olushola Faleye, a past president of the institute, became the first African to sit on the council and was a vice president of IFAC. Ican collaborated with accountancy bodies in West Africa in the formation of Association of Accountancy Bodies in West Africa, ABWA, which led to the successful takeoff of Accounting Technician Scheme, ATS, a scheme that has produced over 19,402 graduates. In 1982, Ican began to make serious impact on accounting standards and financial reporting regulatory system through the formation of Nigerian Accounting Standards Board, NASB, which is now known as the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria has come a long way, beginning with a meager 250 members in 1965 to over 40,000 members in 2015. The organization is not relenting, taking accounting education and practice to all corners of the country.
During our days when we were students, you could barely count the number of people who are chartered accountants, for instance, where I grew up in Kano. Today, Ican has become a household name. Everybody knows Ican.
In its 50 years of existence, the Institute is continuously seeking to improve the quality of accounting education and practice.
We now have a new syllabus now that was designed in order to take Ican to the next level. It was designed under the sponsorship of the World Bank and under a project that we call a twining arrangement between Ican, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales.
We are trying to benchmark our own standards against international standards.
Ican about 2-3 years ago decided that we were going to build lecture theaters across the spectrum of the nation, across the nation. And during my presidential year, this presidential year, we were able to build about 4 or 5 and commission them and donated to universities. We built one in Bafemi Awolowo University, we built one in Uniben, we built one in UNN Enugu campus, we built one in Northwest University, Kano. We're building one in Federal University of Technology, Brini Kebbi. We've awarded a contract for Ibadan Poly and another contract for Federal University of Agriculture, Mudike.
In 2015, Ican launched the 50 million Tuition Houses Support Fund to assist tuition providers in enhancing their learning environment and materials. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria kept waxing stronger and more impactful through the combined efforts of these presidents who worked tirelessly to push the boundary of accounting practice and education in Nigeria.
I make bold to say we will be in the forefront of corruption. We will get government to be very active in money laundering because those are our areas.
My personal expectation is to make sure that Ican, as an institute, what it stands for, becomes the preferred choice when you talk of accountancy profession.
We like the Nigerian government to consult better accountants as individuals and as a body and get them involved in national planning and national development.
In the future, I'm expecting Ican to blow itself up in the way that the English Institute are done, in the same way as the Australian, the Canadian, the American bodies have done. By the standard of work, by the education of accountants and similar things. So I would expect that our own institute, not necessarily copying others, but they should be able to follow the same pattern of development as the other accounting bodies had done.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria has made indelible footprints in promoting accuracy and integrity in accountancy practice and education, and it is poised to continue to lead the way in the foreseeable future.